I'm going to do this video in English. It's about the pyramids. Let me put this back and put this in here. There you go. You see this? Okay. As I was saying, we are looking at history through the context in which it was told to you. But if you look at the timeline, you can determine something very fundamental, which is that you have 500 years of bubble madness against 5,500 years of flat. Here, people believed the world was flat, and here you have the bubble madness. Now, look at the time frame and look at what is built on top of the ground, all of the geometry, when you look back into this timeline. And there immediately the question comes up. How is it possible that you build something with the measurements of something and then you don't know how that something looks? What is the shape of that you measured? If the measurements of the earth are on the pyramids, and the pyramids were built at a time in which the consensus was that the earth was flat, how do you build something and then you don't know the shape of it? That was the question. When you put up concepts on the philosophical table of the world, you need three angles of sources. One is literature, the other one is scientific, and the other one is observational. So on the literature, I always start with the Bible, because the Bible, to me, is the greatest historical document that we have on earth, the Bible. But after that, we can keep going on other sources. The other one is scientific, which can be also math, and in here I'll go to the pyramids. And the other one is observational, from what you can confirm from this and this. Okay, so now we're going to go to the science. Put out your calculator and Google, and then you're going to do this. We're going to figure out the seconds of the day. So you got 60 seconds times 60 minutes, which is an hour, and this equals 3,600 seconds in 1 hour. Then multiply this times 12 and you get 43,200 seconds in 12 hours. On a side note, look at this number right here. And when they say that the Anunnaki, they have this orbit, what is this number? What are we measuring? Just a question. So you have 43,200 seconds in 12 hours. Then you take the pyramid, the height, 482.7575, and you multiply that times the 43,200, and you get 20,855,124 feet. Convert that to miles. You go to Google, go to conversion, put feet to miles and put this number, and you will get 3,949 miles. 3,949 miles is the Arctic of the earth. Then you go to Google and you are going to ask Google, what is the polar radius of the earth? And you will get the answer right there, this. And you will also see a survey done in 1972 that states that the Arctic of the earth is 3,949 miles. And that was done in 1972. The pyramids were done way, way before that. Okay? So now you're going to take the perimeter, and the perimeter of is 929.319. This times 43,200, and you will get 39,800, 980.8 meters, because this measurement is done on meters. And then you're going to do the same thing. You're going to convert this number from meters to miles, and you will get 24,731. 24,731. This is what you will get. This is the equatorial circumference of the Earth. You follow? Now, the Earth, when you look at it from the top, you have the circle and the moon and the sun. The sun takes 43,200 seconds to go from here to here, to go halfway the day. And this here, the entire thing, measures 24,930. And the sun moves about 1,000 miles per hour. So if you have the sun here and half of 24 miles are covered, which is 12,000, you covered 12 hours. Does that make sense to you? Makes sense to me. So what I want you to see is that the pyramids are describing to you the Arctic of the Earth and the perimeter. So I do not think that ancient man decided to do halfway and leave the other half for future generations. I do not think that's the case here. I think they measure it correctly, but if you look at the timeline, it is better explained that 500 years ago they started to lie. And so we have the wrong foundation when we think about this. This guy, Graham Hancock, he says on a scale of 1 to 43,200, the Great Pyramid served as a model and map projection of the northern hemisphere of the Earth. Did you get that? I think that he have not clicked, that he has the wrong foundation. And this is the information that is there. And now he comes and says, well, the Great Pyramid is a 1 to 43,200 ratio of the Earth, of the northern hemisphere. But he does not mention that the bottom of the world is not included in the pyramid. Because I think he has not realized that the world is flat. But he's not lying to you. Look at the word that he's saying. It's a ratio of 1 to 43,200 of the northern hemisphere and map projection of the Earth. See, basically he says, well, the Earth is round, so we have halfway here. So this is halfway. The pyramid is halfway the Earth, basically he's saying, because he has the wrong foundation, and I don't think he has realized that if he fixes the picture of knowledge that he has about the Earth, you can get a better answer. My way of looking at it is that the pyramids have all of the measurements of this circle of the world except the bottom of the world. Do you follow? If you account for the lie here, then you can understand what happened. It fits that we have a lie, so we are beginning the argument with the wrong foundation. And I think that's the problem. But I don't think ancient man left the other half for us to do. Do you follow? I think they measure it correctly, and I think those are the dimensions of the earth. I was also explaining how the sun is not far away. The sun and the moon are the same size. And this we get from the book of Enoch that describes the earth. I think it's the best piece of literature that describes the earth, the book of Enoch. And this is the reason why the moon can do a lunar eclipse and cover the sun completely. When we know, right, that the sun is substantially bigger than the moon, and when you ask how is that possible that the moon can cover the sun, they tell you that the sun is 400 times bigger than the moon, but the moon is 400 times closer to the earth. That sounds to me like a mathematical jargon, as Nikola Tesla said, because it's just Occam's razor for me answers better the questions. But you just realize that the world is flat and there is nobody on the other side of the world walking upside down. You got to realize that, or even say it as a mantra or something. But everybody is standing like that, like you and me. We're standing up, okay? There's nobody like this standing on the earth like that. If the earth is a ball, this is what they're saying to you. That sounds loony to me. That when you go to Australia, you're upside down, but you don't know it. That's, to me, is just the very definition of lunacy, okay? And we know that these people are lying to us. So we've been lied to since we were little. So they lost credibility. So in covering the pyramids, I have to cover a lot of material. And I was studying the flat earth, and then I realized, wait a minute, the pyramid should tell us what are the dimensions of the earth. That's how I got this. So if you're interested in knowing more, just follow me on Facebook. Thank you for your question and for pushing me to do it in English. Good night.